All right, you guys, thank you very much for coming by tonight. My name is David Ruff. I operate out of Toronto, Canada. We're going to be talking about a couple issues today and a couple stories today that should scare you to your very soul, what's happening with the economy, but we don't have to be as scared for no reason. If we are prepared for this type of stuff, we can take advantage of this type of stuff as we move into the future. If we take a look into our first article of the day, we're going to be taking a look at this. This first article is showing that Canadian bank regulators are rejecting pleas to loosen mortgage rules. Now, this is from Bloomberg. You can go look it up. Canadian bank regulators reject pleas to loosen bank rules. For those of you who are not aware, there's always this margin of safety, this extra cushion. So let's just say that you can qualify. This is the rate of the day. They always say, but could you qualify for 1 or 2% higher than that? So they will call this like the stress test. Now, depending what country you're in, what state, what province, whatever, they always will have this margin of safety. So they don't just want to qualify you for the amount of mortgage that you can have. They want a little bit more. If the market has a little bit of a blip, are we going to change that? Now, people have been complaining about that for years, but now that we are in a situation with raising interest rates, all these people, if they didn't have that, they would have lost all their homes already. And that's the entire point, is to have this cushion that not everyone will be forced into foreclosure or bankruptcies if they didn't have that. But as you see in the article from Bloomberg, the regulators are rejecting the pleas to make it softer right now. Remember, the amount of homes on the market today has gone up somewhere to the factor of 8. Some cities up to 10 times as many homes are on the market today than it was in the spring. So everybody is pumping all their homes onto the market, trying to sell them for a higher price that they used to have back in the day. But we are seeing homes go down $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a day, which is absolutely crazy. We've never seen anything like these types of price drops before. And we're seeing that because of the new rates. These new rates are super high. And if you had locked into a rate before, congratulations. I'm super happy for you. I'm glad it happened, that you deserve it. If you were following me before and following me when I was saying fix these rates, and you did, man, cherry, amazing. What would my little niece say? She would go, chef's kiss. I'm too young. I'm too old for that. Anyway, so that was the first article I wanted to show you. Okay, so let's move into the second article I wanted to show you. U.S. household net worth falls most on record. So the value of stocks sank 7.7 trillion with a T. 7.7 trillion with a T that the stock market has dropped. Crazy town in the second quarter. In addition to that, credit rose at the fastest pace since the end of 2001. Okay, let's think about this. Did anything else happen in 2001? You want to take a wild guess? A massive crash, right? And this happens over and over and over again. This is why I always suggest, I don't have the book right here, that Ray Dalio book on the changing world order. It always is the same thing. When inflation goes up, everyone, their jobs don't go up in price. So they're making cuts everywhere they can. And guess what? They spend all the cash they have, and then they have to turn to the last thing they got, their credit cards. And they start borrowing just to be able to survive. This is really, really tough, you guys. So we're in an environment where the stocks are dropping like crazy and people are borrowing at record rates. You and I know how this story ends, right? It's happened a million times before. It only ends in tragedy. Really, really bad. All right, let's look at the last article that I was seeing here today. Now, this is pertaining to Canada. Canada lost 40,000 jobs in August, third monthly decline in a row, which is really, really bad. So if you go and look at that, this came in June and changed in July. Canada's economy lost 40,000 jobs in August, enough to push the jobless rate by a half a percentage point to 5.4%. So the economists were expecting for 10 to 15,000 more jobs, okay? And then in reality, we lost 40. So what does that tell you, okay? The government of Canada has hundreds of economists working for it. The American government have thousands of economists working for it, and still they have no idea of which way the economy is going. Seriously? A 2-year-old would be able to tell you if the stock market is dropping and crypto is dropping and everything else is dropping and people are losing their jobs everywhere. And the surveys say that 50% of companies have either laid off or are planning to lay off employees. Seriously? What are we even talking about now? How do we not know? Of course, we know that this is going to happen. So, to me, when they're giving us all of this information, don't worry, we're still creating jobs. I think it's a load of bollocks. I don't believe it for 1 second. And I wonder, like, is there malicious intent in this? I don't know. That kind of sounds conspiracy theorist, right? But I'm saying, like, how can they be that wrong? And in a month-to-month thing, I understand you're guessing, but as they're raising interest rates to the moon, and this has happened for thousands of years, every time they do, inflation takes hold, people can't afford anything, and companies start laying off. This is not like, I don't know, space physics, okay? This is simple math. If inflation goes up and your wage stays the same, people will go under. Businesses will go under. And so I'm shocked that they're like, oh, we had no idea. These guys are too much. Okay, let's keep going down this article. This is the other thing that really kind of blew my mind. Most of the job losses came from 2 sectors. 2. I want you to go check out this article on cbc.ca. Most of the job losses came from 2 sectors. 28,000 people lost their job in construction. I have no idea, right? How would that happen? I don't know. Maybe nobody is buying new construction anymore. Maybe the costs are absolutely bananas, where I can go buy a resale condo in Toronto for $1,000 a square foot, but some of these new builds are still charging $1,500, $1,800 a square foot. Are you crazy? I don't understand that. So of course they're laying off people everywhere. All of our contacts in the new builders and the banks, they're laying off the mortgage brokers. They're laying off all of the refinance people. All of these buildings have stopped building. Some of them might even go into bankruptcy. We don't know. Let's see. So 28,000 people lost their jobs in Canada in construction. And remember, US is about 10 times the size of Canada. Now, this is the craziest one. Again, go see this article in cbc.ca. I want you to look that up. And Canada's job reports. The most shocking thing, it says that the 50,000 jobs are gone in education. Have you guys seen this in the news at all? Like, I haven't been seeing this. First of all, I didn't even know Canada had 50,000 teachers. Can you imagine 50,000 jobs are gone in education? What are we doing here? What about all the future generations? What are they supposed to do? I mean, like, if we go back in time and even look at Ray Dalio, the rise of Britain, the rise of France, the rise of the Dutch, and going back as far as you want, it was all about educating your population so they could have better jobs, build the country up, and then if they had better jobs, they'd be paying more taxes. Good cycle, right? 50,000 gone in education. My jaw just dropped when I saw that. Couldn't believe it. All right. Let's go into this second thing here. Construction projects have been lagging and been canceled amid a multiple interest rate hikes. You think? Obviously, it's because of rate hikes. Remember, for every 1% that the rate goes up, the property prices drop 10%. Of course it does. Okay. It says this guy, Richard Lal, president of construction firm Rescon. So this is no Joe Schmo. He's a president of a construction company. Higher interest rates are starting to kick in. Certain projects are starting to stall. I would argue that there's many that already have stalled. And going forward, we expect them to fall further. Again, this is no schmo. This is no janitor at some place. This guy is telling you, as a president of a construction company, that things are going down. We got to pay attention to a guy like that. And this is the kickoff, you guys. This paragraph right here: growing recession fears. this is what blows my mind, and this is what comes to all the misinformation that drives me crazy. I cannot stand it, and this is why I say do your own due diligence, do your own homework, find out the information for yourself. Growing recession fears. For all of time, your recession has been 2 quarters of negative. All right. That already happened in July, where we officially crossed that line. But because of whatever political leaning that they are, left, right, listen, they both do it. Both sides do this. Okay. But they want to redefine what a recession is. Technically, we are in a depression. We've had suppressed growth for years. But, they want to change that definition around. Listen, back in April, we already knew that we were in a recession, right? Everybody who's watching the markets. And I don't know how you can say when the stock market, we just looked at an article, lost $7 trillion. Some stocks are down 70, 80%. Home prices in Toronto are down 35, 40, 50% in some categories. And we're like, we're not quite sure if there's something bad. Don't worry, we got this under control. 50,000 construction, 50,000 teachers out of work, and everyone's getting laid off, and the government is still gaslighting us by telling us, oh, don't worry, it's going to be okay. We're not sure if it's going to cause anything. This is where I'm going to tell you, don't read anything and believe one article. Don't ever do that. So this is what Jim Rogers always says. He always says, read from a multitude of sources. Diversify your real estate holdings, right? Don't just buy them all in one building and that's it. Maybe have different commercial or residential multiplex, maybe some different cities. If you're in stocks, you don't put it in one. You're going to diversify, right? Same thing about the information that you put into your brain, because you are going to be the outcome of what you're reading and who you're surrounding yourself with. That is the main secret here. So what are you going to do is you got to read an article maybe from a left-leaning place and an article from a right-leaning place. And then maybe you're going to read a US article talking about Canada. And maybe you're going to read a European article talking about Canada, and get these different points of view so that you could figure out the truth in the middle. That's my suggestion. Don't listen to anybody, not even me. Just go and look for the facts so that you can figure out the truth for yourself. Because once you figure it out, you're going to be a lot better off. Anyway, you guys, I love you guys. I like helping you out. I really, really appreciate it. If you would remember to like, follow, and subscribe to this, man, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get the word out there. I want people to be prepared and not scared for what is going to be coming, because this could be one of the greatest opportunities of your lifetime. Anyway, love you guys. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon.